Yeah, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of my Walkman Show. Today we're going to be walking you guys through the our observation. We did another outing, so we're just going to walk you guys through how we felt, the response we got from people, their reactions, and we're going to our last outing, which will be available to just view, and then we'll just tell you our personal experience, how we felt generally. So I remember Marcus and with me is
Yeah, welcome guys. Kuzi here. So yeah, like Marcus said, we went out a couple of days ago and we started meeting people, along the road to ask if they could subscribe to our YouTube channel. So we just want to give you guys feedback on that process. Like we've stated before, the My Walkman show is all about ways to make money in Nigeria. And right now, we're just trying to document all the steps we're taking to make money. And one of them is trying to grow this YouTube channel. So, yeah, we went out, it was a Sunday, right? And we interviewed some people, asked some of them to subscribe to our channel. And the experience was quite interesting, I would say. Like we got so many type of responses,
yeah,
and we met some people that were like, okay, they were receiving, and we met others. And funny thing enough, I spoke to some guys, and the response I got was like, no, like, it's like, bro, it's just YouTube. I don't know, like, I don't know if you met any people, any individuals like that when you were.
I just met some that I
Mm,
don't do YouTube. I don't do YouTube. I don't really know. It was quite.
mm,
It's correct though because I feel
mm,
not everybody actually. Most people their smartphone is just for social media, and the social media is just between Instagram, TikTok,
mm.
WhatsApp, and just moving back and forth. That those just chatting basically and putting pictures at it, but they don't
Mm.
really. I don't know, but
Yeah, this is something we've actually talked about. It's not even just for smartphone, like technological devices. So people don't use it to
yeah,
the full extent. That's something we're trying to still do here in this whole platform and everything. We're really trying to get people to see the importance of documenting, taking things down, actually using your phone,
to the full
to the full
capacity.
capacity. Like a lot of people don't do that. They don't take notes. And one of the tools we use on this My Walkman show, to share ideas is the default note app on your iPhone. I don't know if you were familiar with it before. How if you take notes on your device, it appears on my device.
Yeah,
And kind of like syncing the two phones together.
together.
These are things people may not be aware of, and they just look at the note. I even doubt people even use the notes app on their phone. Most of them.
But early is
Yeah.
it just. I think it just generally
Mm,
the line you see yourself most times. It does
mm,
not really allow some people to get exposed to some of all these things. Like not like exposed per se, but then they are in a particular field
mm,
and then they just don't see the need of using this thing
mm,
because most mindset is just as long as I can get this thing done, these I've always
mm.
gotten things done, let me just keep getting things
Done
done
that way.
that way. And then they tend not to check out other means that
Mm.
can even effectively and
Increase their
increase
progress
their progress
and
and
speed.
speed,
Mm,
yeah, in performing any task. But then those are some of the things we're going to be highlighting in this show
mm.
and teaching people, exposing whatever we can learn, we'll teach others to learn also. I think that's all.
Yeah, and actually, though, like we just mentioned now, the Notes app on your iPhone, it can actually be used as a collaborative tool. If you are doing business with a partner, and this is something, it's not just for the Note app. You can also use it for your Microsoft Excel, your Microsoft, sorry, did I say Microsoft? Your Google Docs, your Google Sheets. You can share a link between individuals,
Yeah.
and both of you can see what's being done on the sheet in real time. So this tool is really important for, let's say, somebody who's into business, and you're not in the same physical location as your business partners. Just like me and Marcos here, we're running this show and we're in different cities, and we tend to make these recordings in Bash, and we also collaborate over the phone. And one of the tools we use very frequently, like I was saying, this default note application on your iPhone. So there's a way you can share a link, between individuals, and any changes that's done on that note will be reflected on both phones. So it's almost like your own private social media, for you and your employees.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are some tools that you can use. I just saying it now. It's something that you can look into. Sharing of notes between your employees and yourself. So yeah, it was an interesting experience overall. Because actually, when you are online and you're saying things online, it's very different from the real world.
Yeah.
Like when you go out there and you talk to people and you interact with people, it's like it's a whole different world entirely from what most people present online. And this is also one thing we're trying to do with this show, I believe. We're trying to make it as genuine as possible. As like, but not like, if you follow most of our shows, we try to do them on the spot. Like all the recordings we do, we just sit down for 30 minutes and just brainstorm the ideas and discuss the ideas and just put it out there. We don't try to polish or edit things out. Just, yeah, you're on the spot, because the reality is that that's how the life really is. Nobody in the real world is walking around with a camera to cut and edit some patterns. Like things just happen, and you have to adjust on the spot. You have to think on your feet. It's a popular term, and you have to think on your feet. Think right then and then how to react. So these are some things, like, as a business person, you have to keep in mind. When you are doing stuff, you should be able to, like, put yourself in situations that forces you to think on the spot. So overall, though, to summarize my own experience that Sunday, meeting people in the real world and asking them to subscribe to our channel, it was quite fun, actually. Because we met so many people. A lot of them said no, a lot of them said yes, and it was just nice to see that there's like this divide between the real world and the physical world. And we also ran into some issues too with the sound while we were making the audio. It was something that we didn't foresee, because we're doing this recording now in an enclosed space, and our mic is like, the audio is coming in clear. But when we were interviewing that lady and that other young man, it was like car sound all in the background.
Yeah.
Not,
It was really noisy.
yeah, it was really noisy. But we hope when we compile the video, we can maybe do a step-by-step walkthrough and everything, to really see how we can create value for you guys and just really share the real stuff, like how it really is out there, and not just all scripted and edited and stuff like that. Because I think this is actually where the world is going to. People are tired of the old edited, scripted, and people want to see the real thing, what's really happening, originality. So we're really, really trying as much as we can to incorporate that into this channel, because we basically are just trying to document, how we survive the difficult times in Nigeria, budgeting, strategies we took, steps like that, and everything. So that's all for me and my experience, on Sunday, going out to ask people to subscribe to our channel. I don't know if you have anything you would like to add to this before we move to the next topic.
Yeah. So it's a very pleasurable experience for me, going out, seeing people. It really exposes you to see how people think up close, like not just exaggerate things or just like think things in your head, but then you
Mm.
really get to see that some people are really not receptive. Some people are arrogant. Some people are just they don't want to hear the kind of information you have.
Mm.
It also boils down to the society we find ourselves. I think people tend to like when you approach a stranger, they tend not to give you listening ear,
Mm.
which I don't think I know why,
Mm.
but we can attribute why to maybe scam or something because everybody's always on their feet
Mm.
thinking someone is always going to try to scam them
Mm.
or you can
And that's
see
a
that
problem.
that's actually a very big problem with
Mm.
society because
Yeah.
you can see somebody will coming to you with an information and then because of the idea in your head
Mm.
you don't want to receive that
Yeah.
information and it's really bad for us as society. So that's why here at my work man we are trying to build a community of minds where minds can interact with each other at ease and we'll just build a society that is safe for everybody. Society where we can share ideas without fear
Prejudice,
or prejudice. Yeah, so
preconceived
we
notions.
those are some of the things we've observed in the outing. We'll keep doing more outings and keep observing more from people and seeing reactions and how they receive information. Because when you tend to relax and listen, I
Mm.
think you get more
Mm.
from you get to learn more about what this person is about.
I'm saying, yeah.
It's always like when you're meeting people, hey, please, I'm a YouTuber.
Mm.
I want to, can I run an interview with you? I'll be like, no,
What?
no
Yeah.
cameras,
No,
no, I don't do
I
that
don't do that. It's like, bro,
because
just say.
the thing is always going to be like, oh, comedy. They're
Mm.
going to ask me questions. I don't know how to answer them,
Mm.
and then I'm going to be used for a meme, like we
Mm.
said in our last
Mm.
outing, and that's really what is actually happening
Mm.
because people tend to be scared of the camera.
Mm.
So those ones are understandable, but the ones that are really of concern to me is the
Mm.
ones that they don't even want to hear the
Anything,
information you are
yeah.
going. Whether it's something that is going to help them, they don't want to. They
Mm.
don't care. They
Mm.
just know that oh, if you are coming to me right now, maybe you want to tell me about a Ponzi scheme. Maybe you want to
Mm.
tell me about something I'm not interested. Or we have heard of instances when you give hearing to somebody and then they'll just use some kind of
A different software.
like they'll psych you a
Mm.
little and then you
Leave
before
you hanging.
you give them your items, all
Mm.
those kind of things. I think that's part of the fear.
Mm.
So people don't want to give you attention because they believe that when they give you attention, there's a kind of voodoo kind of thing that you can do to them and just
Take away
take away
their,
their properties.
yeah, trick them.
Yeah. So I think those are some of the challenges in Nigeria society.
Mm.
But with time, I think this thing, with lots of exposure
Mm.
going on in the society, in the youth space, I think this ideology and this mindset is going to be wiped
Mm.
out very soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I mean, it's not just even for the youth, like for everybody, I hope people can change their mind because that's really what it's about, ability for people to change their mind, not to be like, well, this is how it has been, this is how it should be. And, if it's working, why change it?
Yeah,
But the reality is that even if it's working, you should maybe try to make it better as
upgrade.
well, upgrade. Or people just like, well, they just want that safe net, that continuity of the same thing. Well, I mean, they, they are abrasive to change, if I would say it like that. And because the reality of the life is that change is constant. Change will happen whether you want or not.
Yeah.
So it's always best to be like in the mindset that, okay, well, things are going to change. Well, you should train yourself to adapt to that change instead of always fighting against change. That's like really where I believe society would thrive. People should just be more open-minded, to new ideas, new ways of doing things, new way of living generally, because just because, like I said, just like I'm saying the same thing, but that's the fact, like just because something is working doesn't mean like it's going to keep working. Even if it keeps working, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't explore other possible ways this thing can be done better. I don't know, maybe it's because a little bit of a scientist and I just like experiments and stuff like that. But the reality is that the change would hit you in a way that maybe if you were stuck in a particular state of mind, it would hit you in a way that you won't be able to absorb the change that time, when you don't prepare yourself for change. So yeah, just really hoping people change their mind. But there's a statement Elon Musk said. It's a little bit dark, but I think that's the reality of things. People who tend to not change their mind, I mean, the only other option is for them to just die off or something. But yeah, I'm not really hoping anybody dies, but I mean, what else can you do? Because it's worse than death, actually. For somebody to just be stuck in a particular mindset, it's almost like death if you think of it. Like you're trying to do something, and we see it a lot, with the current government system and everything. You go to these officials and you try to like okay, why don't we try like that? No, 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 no. Like there's this it's like severe pushback without any justification of why are you pushing back the ideas. Why? Like, just think about it. It's absurd. Like you don't understand this thing and you don't even want to understand. Like how ridiculous does it sounds so crazy, like for anybody to be thinking that way.
Yeah.
Like why? Just doesn't it make you feel somehow like I don't know. But for me, though, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's just insane. Like you don't know, you don't want to know. The level of arrogance and ignorance, and it's quite amazing. And yeah, that's just what we saw. When we went out today, the other day rather. And yeah, although in everything, in the bad, we still met some very interesting people, very receptive individuals, that gave us audience. But one other thing I would say, though, maybe it has to do with the state of mind of the person at that time. Because we've also run into a situation like that when stress, the stress of society, financial stress, emotional stress, can actually disorient an individual, and put them in a abrasive state of mind to new ideas. There's this popular saying, yeah, once everybody go shop breakfast or something like that. So maybe they may be in because when you're in an emotional state of stress, you really don't want to hear anything from anybody, or even if it's in a financial distress. If you're in financial distress, you really don't want to listen. Like, just imagine someone who has been scammed of 100,000 or so. Do you think he wants to hear anything about any business idea you have to share with him? So those are some things too we can consider. But what I would like or hope, because this is still a test for us too as individuals, because we've been under stress before, even right now too. Although we try to look cool on camera, we're actually under a lot of stress, but we're just using ourselves as examples, for people and for future generations, because you can't say because you were under stress, you just, you close yourself off to your surrounding, you close yourself up to new ideas and new ways of doing things. Even with the stress, just try. We know it's not easy, because we've been there. It's not easy. Like the day we went out, I think halfway through, asking people around like that 7 time, we're almost getting tired. We're like, ah, man, we should start going home. I don't know if we're talking about, we just persevered. Okay, then we said we should cross over, to Market Square, and started asking more people. So it's really just it's difficult to put yourself under stress and perform under stress. But it's actually a very good thing, if you try, just try, because you don't know, maybe you could actually do it, but you will never know until you try. Try to remember that, okay, when you're under stress, your mind is clouded, but try to uncloud or unclutter your mind under a stressful situation and see what you can actually come up with. So that's my other summary. Yeah.
On the stress.
Mm,
On the stress, when you are stressed out and then you start being rude,
mm,
start being unreceptive,
yeah.
and I think there's even another problem with the society
Yeah.
today.
Especially our society here in Nigeria. There's like you see
I
a
think
lot.
it's actually going to be everywhere with the way the mind works.
Yeah.
Well, not a psychologist though, but then I think
Just
we can,
personal experience.
yeah,
you
we
can
can
see it.
work our way around this thing.
Mm,
You need to learn to be more in control of your emotions and just be relaxed. No matter the stress level you are experiencing, I'm not going to say be normal, but then be learn. That's why we talk about emotional maturity. You need to learn how to be reserved, to be calm under pressure, under any circumstance. Just look at things and just be relaxed generally, because it's not really necessary to be all uptight, because you just lost $1 million.
yeah.
And then
Have you lost $1 million before?
if you lost the money,
Have you lost $1 million?
I'm not lost.
But just share like maybe a situation where you've lost something valuable and now you're at it.
So you see, this thing is something that we should grow into, because there was one time I was in business and when I've not been able to deliver, and then there is some hold up, I'm very stressed, and at that moment I don't want to hear. I get easily triggered. But then I was looking at it, I said, what can I actually do about this thing right now? Let me do it. Make the calls I need to make. Do these things and just relax. If you've made effort to solving the issues, and then you are seeing that it's not really yielding anything, what do? You relax.
Exactly.
Because then you know that there is nothing you can actually do again. Just relax. And so that's what I'm trying to say. It's for all of us, even me and our viewers. Let's learn to always be, because violence comes from when people are depressed, when people are angry about something. It's always starts from emotional triggers. When you are going through emotional stress or the other, you will not become more violent. You become more easily triggered, and then so for us to work well with each other in a very calm and secure society, we need to learn how to work on our emotions, on how we handle stress. Some people, you see them when they are very angry, they start destroying things, they start scratching things, destroy phones, destroy their laptops, and then I see those as a bit of madness. And it's actually this madness that just comes into you, and then you just start doing things. And what you are supposed to do, if you see that is becoming more frequent, you need to see a psychologist. You need to go for therapy. You need to do all these things. That's what we need to encourage in our society, so that we have a more stable mind across our board. Because you cannot be running your firm now, and because your wife. I was watching an interview some time back about a US. I don't know the administration now, but this secretary, what do they call them? Media secretary, kind of. He came that morning and he was trying to. He gives brief on the president's activities for the day, and I saw that he said he just lost his wife to an accident, and whether his daughter is currently fighting for his life that morning, and then he's there so calm and relaxed, trying to give out discharge his duty. The media people there were all trying to like, oh sir, please, why don't you just take today off? He said, no, my country is. And I looked at that, I saw the level of emotional control. He's in pain. Imagine you just lost your wife or something, and then you are discharged. But there are people that will not be able to handle that stress. They will just Maybe you ask them
fall
a
under
very wrong
pressure.
question at that point, the way they will lash out at you. That's the maturity we're talking about. You
Mm.
need to start getting people to really look into, and let's not see this thing as like it's normal now. Like you were asking me just now, have you
Yeah.
lost 1 million
Yeah.
before? We'll not look at because you have not lost 1 million, you don't know how it feels.
Space, yeah.
But then it's not because okay, I've not lost 1 million, I don't know how it feels,
But
but I
you've
know
lost
how
significantly,
I've
like
lost
when you said,
significantly, yeah.
yeah. Mm.
So it's not about what you've lost. We don't need to start weighing that. We
Mm.
need to start looking at the objective, like
Yeah.
okay, no matter the situation,
Mm.
let's try, especially what you cannot change. Anger does not change anything.
Yeah.
So we need to look at it and say, okay, this thing cannot really change. Let's
Yeah.
be calm and then be more receptive to people, because you don't know where your next idea is going to come from. You
Yeah.
don't know the information you're going to get from somebody that is going to give you that your next breakthrough in your field of study or in your
Exactly.
business or anything. So
Yeah, what you just said just now about destroying property, getting things. I would say maybe I've been a victim of that. I've been in situations where, because of emotional, stress, financial stress, I've resulted to, breaking property. Obviously, no matter how angry I was in those situations, I was still a bit sensible. I didn't break my laptop or like really expensive stuff. I still was just a piece of plastic, just smashed it up and stuff like that. Just cheap items.
you know,
So, but I would say there's some level of therapeutic relief, when you break stuff. But if it's like I said, cheap item, I would say maybe just have like a bunch of cheap plastic that you can just break to relieve stress at that
say
time.
the
Let me
thing.
finish. I'm coming. Like just to relieve stress. That's like a way, because the reality is that we forget these things. We're speaking now calmly, quietly, but when it's time for action, we might forget like all these principles, all these stuff and everything, but we're trying to incorporate that, to remember, because obviously this is not the first time you've thought of like, why was I reacting the way I was, getting all worked up and stressed out and everything. But I kid you not, before the end of this week, before next week, you may find yourself in that situation again, where you are reacting in a way that you could actually react better. But at that point in time, when you are worked up, stressed out, you can't really see any other way. That's just one other thing that I've
It's true,
observed.
you keep making mistakes though,
Yeah,
but
but
at
yeah,
least try
like
to
what we're
make
saying now is that,
progress.
yeah, because from all these things we just talked about, by talking about it is one way that I've seen that actually helps. If you sit down, talk to yourself, like actually speaking out loud and not just thinking about it in your mind. Take time out, stand in front of a mirror, in front of a camera, even not just record like the events. Take your phone, right, make your record, and it's like, okay, on so day I did this activity. Why did I even do it? Ask yourself these questions and play back your voice to yourself. Is one way that I've actually seen is effective in combating, this stress and these behaviors that you maybe don't want to, engage in. It's a way of reminding yourself the state you were in at that point in time. Because if you because that's the one of the major things we the flaw we all have as humans. We forget so much. The good times, the bad times, because most of those people we talk to, when we went out for interview, obviously there have been times where they talk to people, they were receptive of these ideas,
Yeah.
but they may have forgotten, like, most of them would use WhatsApp, they will use Facebook and stuff like that, but they've forgotten, like, okay, the benefit of using all these other tools. And like, that's just human nature for you. We forget all these things, and then we react in a way that's like as if, we are brand new, or the experience is brand new, when it's not really brand new. The stress you are going through right now, it's almost the same stress you went through yesterday. It's the same chemical compounds working in your brain. Although maybe there's magnitude of stress, obviously, if you lose a loved one, and if you lose your car key or your house key, there's different level of stress, but there's almost like a common ground. You want something and then you are displeased and you can't get that thing. So yeah, that's just the summary of it. Be able to document, take recordings of like your behavior over
Okay,
time.
let me react to that.
Yeah, and try to just
Yeah, you say okay, so you get angry, you break plastic, and that is part of the mental issue. Is the thing is not for you to not get more plastics around and so that you not break value. But the point is not about you breaking value, it's about the action that you take, how you handle that stress level. So I've had experience where I smashed my phone on the wall. I was very young then, like very young. That was when I took that. No, I cannot scatter my phone. After I smashed it, I sat down and think, okay, what is this going to do? Nothing. I've gotten angry and I was just looking at somebody very angry, and the person was just talking. I just attacked the person out of nowhere. When I observed this, I saw that this thing is an issue.
Well, you see what we're talking about. You observed it.
Yeah, and that's the point. People don't observe.
Yeah, they don't observe
this
the
action. That's the thing. So when you see that you break plastic today, you reason that it's just
you know why I said
release some
why
energy
why I
level.
said you should do that, because first of all, if you break plastic, it's expensive. You would remember you spent money on this plastic, and you'd have to buy new plastic. So it's a way of kind of like correcting your bad behavior.
I mean, what I tell people is that emotions are overrated. And we tend to always overrate emotions. You actually have control over these things. That's the hard truth that people don't want to hear. It's an overrated.
It's 50-50. Let me just say
it's actually not 50-50.
No, let me say why it's 50-50.
Choose how to feel in any circumstance.
You can't. You were a victim of this thing yesterday.
Yes, I choose to be.
No, you did not choose. It's not.
See, let me
say. That's what emotion is. I know we are going over time. Emotion is not what you choose. You can't choose emotion. You just react. It's just like, I'm not praying for anything bad to happen to any of our loved ones now.
Emotion is overrated.
No,
emotion is total control of your emotion. Okay. I like it. I can choose to actually be angry right now from nowhere.
See,
something just very minute triggers.
We can just disagree on this and just wrap this episode for now. But for me though, what I see is the fact that you can choose sometimes, and sometimes it can overwhelm you.
Yes. Overwhelm you. But then I'm saying reacting is your choice. I can be very angry.
If you are overwhelmed,
you can be very angry. There's no. I'm not saying you should not be angry. I'm not saying you should not be sad. I'm not saying this. What you do is actually in total control of you. It's not like anything. You are actually the one that is undisciplined enough. You are the one that is bad, that has bad behavior.
I agree with you.
So because of this bad behavior, we tend to justify, I was in a bad place and then I reacted like that.
I agree with you.
You reacted like that because that's who you are.
I agree with you.
But there's control. You are more controlled when you are happy. But then when you are
I agree with you. But the reality is that you can't be in control every single time.
Can't be in control every single time, but that does not make it. That does not mean. Excuse me. That does not mean
that does not mean the possibility is not there. That we're saying the same thing.
I've seen when somebody. There's one guy I know when he's angry, he's tend to punch one thing. Maybe you're not releasing any energy.
No,
you have tweaked your brain to thinking that this action I'm doing is actually relieving me from stress. But it's not. Imagine you break plastic and then you calm down and say, okay. What?
To you, that's
psychology.
That's what I'm telling you.
It's from the brain. It's just a way of feeding your ego.
Everything is feeding your ego.
Yes, but then when you know that this thing is not necessary to feed your ego, you be relaxed.
See what we're saying. You get? It's not that it's not necessary to feed your ego. You won't know then, because let me just use an example of what happened yesterday. Now, when I was trying to say, your call was disturbing me and stuff like that. You get? And I was like, okay, go to the other room. You had the option to just, go. But because of the way you reacted, you started raising your voice and started saying myself like you were getting worked up at that time. Are you seeing what I'm saying? I will let you
Yeah.
finish that. You could have just said, okay, as I said it, oh, excuse me, your call is disturbing. You could have just stood up, gone to the parlor, and you wouldn't have raised your voice or felt any reaction. But you didn't do that. You just, no, I must stay here and answer this call, do your thing. Get what I'm saying? So
I get
I
what you're
love
saying, but that does
wait,
not really. I can actually. I don't want to go into that
that's all
actually
I
right
see.
now because I can
See,
actually tell you some things, and
wait, let me
this
finish
is in the
that.
camera. I
You
don't
would
want to say
no,
some things.
you see,
If
you would justify everything.
no,
Is that
it's
is
not
that we are
justifying. I react. I know why I react.
exactly?
Why I react. What I reacted to.
Oh yeah, what did you react to?
I'm not going to say on camera.
Why?
So we have spent too much time today. I don't need to be those as other personal house things now. I don't need to be saying them.
No, it's just like
I've given you instances where I reacted to something and I
Mm.
saw that this reaction is bad. That state I was now, I'm
Mm.
telling you, this thing you are doing is not good. And then people tend to read. I'm always going to raise my voice so that is my kind of
That's
defense
what I'm
mechanism.
saying.
Wait, it does not mean I'm angry. Wait,
Raising your
and it
voice
does
is a
not
sign
mean
of
that
anger.
that action there will affect anything after that minute. That's the control I'm trying to talk about. I can go outside now, somebody approach me, and then I'm cool with. I can go after I finish reacting. You can come at me, and I am giving you peace. That's the thing we are saying.
Is that
That's the reaction we're trying.
you know the truth
People
is that
carry grievances now out. Like you see teachers in secondary schools, they are angry. They came to school angry, and then they are reacting so erratic that those are the kind of things. Those are the emotional things I'm talking about.
Take it to 1 hour, then we split it up.
Those are the emotional things I'm trying to talk about now. Sure you get, because okay, now I had a disagreement with you, which is bound to happen. You have to disagree with people. I take that because the disagreement now is like you now see me like I'm triggered now. Okay, I've gotten to this level because of the way I reacted, the way I raised my voice, and then you would be like, okay, let's test this guy with something now. Throw this thing to this guy, set up this guy. That's one. Wait,
Okay.
that time now you'll be surprised that this guy just finished reacting like this, and then I'm addressing an issue with you instantly, and that's my kind of person. I want to address this and say, see, shut up your mouth, don't talk like that with me. Sure you get, I will address it, but once I address it like this, I can react to it. Hey, what's up now? That's what I'm not going to take it outside now and
let me say
become
something.
unapproachable.
At that instance now, if I kept pressing on, what would have been your reaction?
My reaction will remain the same.
It won't remain the same. Let me tell you what would have been your reaction.
What would have been my reaction?
You would have been more defensive and insisted.
I was already more defensive.
No, you were not defensive.
I think you're supposed to have known. Wait, I think you're supposed to have known me to the extent that I stand in the ground that I've established, and you keep coming, and I'll keep giving that. No, I'm not living here. If you cannot do what you're, see where to get. I'll not tell you if you cannot continue what you are doing. Then not do it. If because of me you cannot continue, relax.
That's what you call being defensive.
That's what I'm saying now. I'm not going to change. It's not going to escalate or anything. I'm just going to tell you, since you cannot.
That's it already escalating.
If you cannot manage the space, I will not tell you. Yeah, you live there.
Okay, see the way it is now. Because definitely this video is turning into conflict resolution and how to operate in a space with other individuals.
Yeah.
So look at what I'm saying now. Let's say if it was me and I already seen that, okay, I'm triggered. Before I get triggered, what I'm just trying to say here is the fact that when you are triggered, you might think you are in control, but the reality is that you've lost some control. Even if you feel like from what you're saying that you're totally in control and everything, what I'm just trying to say is that fine, you may still have some control, but you've lost your cool. Like you've lost some level of control by just the mere fact that you were raising your voice. Let's take back to the way we started this video and this discussion right now. Initially, you were talking calmly, more reserved, and everything like that. But as we are talking more and more, you see that you're getting more in the mood, being able to express yourself more relaxed and everything like that. You're more animated. Your voice is more energetic as you're speaking. It's the same. That's where yeah, what I'm trying to say now about like, okay, you being like emotions being like a very very dicey thing to just say, oh, I'm always in control of my emotions. You have some level of control, fine and fine, like the story you shared with me. Oh, that prime minister and everything, everything, everything. But the reality is that that prime minister will break down. Maybe when he gets home, maybe when he's driving home, it will just like the emotions will just burst out, and it will just not be in control anymore.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's actually true in our society. But what we're still trying to say is that, like you mentioned too, I'm agreeing with you. Actually, it's not like I'm just trying to counter you blindly. I'm just trying to point out some other areas,
Instances,
yeah, some other instances where you might not be totally in control, and actually, because we have to make room for these things. We're talking about the area you can be in control and the area that is possible that you may not be in control anymore, and you may not even realize it just yet. You may still feel like you're in control, but you're not actually. So let's just say some instances now, like, because all this now we are trying to say, okay, for our society at large, how people can be better, how they can manage their stress levels and all that. So this is just my strategy basically, remembering the emotional state you were in is a very important way to resolve these issues. But it's hard. It's really hard because emotions are like very dicey. Like you can feel a certain kind of way, and when you change or when that way is gone, like it's almost like that feeling was never there. Let me give an instance now. Like you've been sad before, or maybe let's say last week Friday, you remember like how sad I was. Like I was so sad, so down, and it felt as if like the world was about to end that day. Like nothing made any sense to me again. Like I could not function. I completely shut down. But after the next day, and I went out, did some exercise and stuff like that, it was almost like brand new. Like I was reborn. So that's how I see emotions. Like it's like at a point in time you have this overwhelming feeling in your stomach, like, oh man, if you don't explode now, if I don't, just like what we're talking about with the incident that happened the other day. If you don't react that certain way, it's like you're going to explode. What would have left your body or remove what would have been removed from you if you just say, okay, fine, as Scusi said this thing, let me just go to the parlor. Think about it. Nothing would have changed. But at that point in time, you're like, no, it must be this way. That's just what I'm saying with emotions now. At that point in time, when you have these overwhelming feelings, it's just like it has to be that way. The same with the people we met across the street, when we ask them like, oh, they like we're saying, okay, maybe they might be going through some form of emotional stress and everything. They're like, no, they don't even want to hear anything else. It has to be no, they don't even care about what we're doing. You see, like it's a mystery, how we get to this place where, like you just want to do what you want to do at that point in time when you're emotional.
Some people are just not approachable.
Mm.
They tend to build this wall. I don't know what they have in their head, though, but they just feel you are not supposed to approach me.
Mm.
They have that mindset. So I think we a little bit diverted is the
Yeah.
emotional stuff we're trying to talk about. What we're trying to talk about is not your reaction per time. It's your reaction in the long run, your reaction with meeting strangers due to a past event. And then we understand that psychology works, that there is a post stress, there's stress you carry over and then you react based on them. But then we are saying in a more civilized and controlled environment, you are not supposed to be unreceptive to strangers, because I think we know why people are like that though. It's either you feel, oh, this person is coming to me, is going to ask me for money, because as a society we find ourselves where people actually
But you see, it now boils back. Sorry that I'm cutting you off. It now boils back to the fact that the memory is still there. They remember the negative thing more than the positive thing that can come out of a new encounter with a stranger.
Yeah.
So
why some people are just like
they forget.
you see, this thing differs from boys to girls. Some we understand that okay, this person is scared of, maybe it's not well articulated and it does not, it's because of the comedy and everything. Okay, I don't want to be in anything. I'm a very private person. I don't want to be in public view, but then they don't want to listen to, okay, please can you just subscribe to my channel. Sometimes from where I'm standing, from my own observation, I'm looking at it like maybe these people don't understand what's the meaning of subscribe to my YouTube channel. Maybe they are thinking there's a monetary value to it, like, oh, I have to pay to subscribe. If they are relaxed, because the thing is, someone strangers meets you, blocks you, and then there will be this
friction
thing that will be going through your brain, everything. Your brain will be trying to analyze what's going on.
Has anyone ever met you and asked you to subscribe to their channel?
No, nobody has ever met me and asked me. But if they meet me, I will subscribe.
What about, have they met you to do a straight interview?
No. Never met people like that. But then those are things that I've looked at. But people have met me for different other things. Say, please can you help me with this? Please can you help me? Please can you? I'll just be like, oh what? Oh, I don't have.
What can you say makes you receptive to this type of offers from random people?
At first, I would have said it's just my nature, the way I was brought up, the fact that I tend to see light, even if a beggar is coming to me now, I'm always, sometimes I'll be, maybe I don't have any money on me, I must give that listening ear or what, because I want to hear what.
Okay, sorry to cut you off. You continue with this talk. You want to hear, I pause there, but I've noticed, I know I'm like that, I'm bad like that. I noticed like when we go out, you tend to give head to this like children who beg. What's your reason for doing that actually? But you can finish your first saying before you.
When somebody comes to me, I tend to give that hearing because I want to know what do you want to say. If I can be of help, I'll just help.
Like, why do you help random people?
Why do I help? I think it's just in human nature to.
It's not in human nature, because we ask a lot of random people to help us by subscribing to our channel, and they're like, no, they don't want to help us. But why do you, as an individual, like you say now, like, why do you offer this assistance to random people?
I think it's my personality and the way I was brought up. I was not brought up in a way that they told me, hey, if anybody asks for this,
but then
there was just this. It was just
how did that not develop?
I looked at.
You know why I'm asking this question is the fact that
some people like that, and
because I think I'm very impressionable as an individual. I'm very fluid. Like, I change and I listen to people. Yeah, you can attest to that too. So, because I've been with somebody before and they've not really, they see these people who beg, like children, and they are not really like receptive to rendering aid to them.
Yeah.
But ever since we've been going out, me and you, and I've been seeing how you've been receptive to them, it's almost like, okay, why not? I can also be receptive to them. It's just like the people I am around, they have like an influence over our area.
Yeah.
You get, so that's why I'm asking this question. If it's the same for you, if there are people you were around, that kind of influence you into being this person that just like, okay, is cool with people, cool with helping people out. Because I've seen that in you. You like to help people out. You give an audience to people a lot more than I do. Like, you can talk to people on the phone for a very long time, and that's not me really. I mean, it's not like I don't want to do it. It's just like I feel that's not the best way for me to render help, because I know most of the time it's monetary. most of the stress we face in this country
It's
is monetary.
stress.
And if I can't really help you financially, I mean, what's the point of talking?
Yeah,
But yeah, you get that thing. I've seen it in you. You talk to people. You are receptive, and you give the little you have most times when we go out. And me, on the other hand, I don't really do that because I'm always like calculating. Like, okay, if I like, I'm very calculative when it comes to spending. It's not like I'm spending to get something, but I'm just like, okay, also looking out for myself. You are looking out for yourself, but you are still a little bit free with your
the
resources.
thing with me,
Yeah.
I used to be pained
Mm,
when I kind of maybe if somebody comes to me with a kind of need like and I cannot assist,
mm.
I'm usually pained. Like
I feel
I
that way
feel
too.
bad.
I feel bad too, but at the same time, it's like you have to look out for yourself too.
Yeah, the thing is you don't actually do good blindly though.
Mm.
But then for all these people, I tend to see that okay,
Because most times when I'm going out, why I don't render those assistance to like random beggars and stuff.
yeah,
I don't go out with extra cash. If I'm going out, I just
Calculate,
calculated. Yes,
yeah.
I'm very calculated. Okay, this is going to cost this and this and this, and I just take that sum of money when I'm going out. So I don't know. Maybe I should start.
I think
Yeah.
it's always like okay, this person is coming to meet me. This child, I know they might be scamming me. Like they might have a lot, but then I was just like, okay, I have this 15 naira in my pocket. I have this 100 naira. I can give him. I've had an experience where I don't know if I told you when we were in school. There was one time I was going somewhere. I was with the exact amount of money that would take me from back to school. I was stranded. Like I was actually stranded. And you know what happened that day? Let me share this experience. Before I don't know how to ask people. If you know that about I don't know how to. So the bus I entered got bad. I had to come down. I've already paid. That boy is supposed to take me to where we enter another one that will take me to school. Fixed price. Fixer. So as this will take me here now, I paid. I have to pay because the journey. I have to enter another one for like 15 naira. If I enter this bus 15 naira to this place before I enter another one, I don't have any money. I saw a ATM nearby. I slot in my card.
Decline.
It's not decline.
It's sufficient.
Sucks. Like when the ATM sees your card.
Oh my god.
I was
not withdraw nothing.
I cannot withdraw now. I'm not with ATM. At that moment, my brain was not thinking of cardless withdrawal. I was just confused. I was like, what did I do? I started smiling.
Why are you smiling?
I don't know. I think that they had to call my friend in school.
Yeah.
He was not around that time. I called somebody and I said, please see, I'm stranded. I don't want these guys to beat me, this conductor, because it will feel like I'm scamming them. I said, see, just come to the junction. Wait for me with 100 naira. I'm coming now. Please wait. That was my saving that day. I've been in a bus now. Somebody just came in and he does not have money. He just asked me, bros, please, I'm going to this direction. Can you just pay? I said, okay, enter now. I'll just pay. Well, I was in that state now. I said, I don't feel like I don't know how to ask. So, but then generally, it's just human nature. Actually, we need to assist each other wherever we can, whenever we can. That's why if you are more receptive, you'll be more. Most people that are not very receptive are very good in giving too. But then, my general, what I just want is for us to be more listening to people, because you don't even know this part of listening to people now. What you don't get is most times people don't need monetary help. Most of your friends are calling you to talk to you. They don't need money. They just need somebody to just people. See, I'm so relaxed emotionally that I hardly share pain with people. I cannot be going through pain and I'll share it with you.
In
a different way. I'm privileged to have that.
We're that close and I've known you for years, and I know when you're in pain. Like the other day when your item was seized, I could see the pain.
You see the pain. But
the environment for you, conducive environment.
I will be like,
not for you to explode. So you have to appreciate me for that.
Yes, it's good. But then that's what I'm trying to say. Then people like that will just like call you, talk to you. business is bad, this is bad.
Yeah.
They don't need money from you. They know you don't have money. How much you want to give them?
Millions.
But then that listening to people just want to talk. Yeah, when they talking is a way to relieve stress.
Yeah.
So if you are
I
not
agree
there,
with that.
if you are not there to give them that listening ear, like let them talk.
But you know,
Wow.
another thing is that when you are in, because definitely the summary of this entire video is, you know,
Control,
stress,
emotional
everything,
control.
emotional
I've tried to-
control. You know, from just our experience with talking, asking for subscribers, you know, and we've diverted a lot, but everything still boils down. But when you are, because just like the people were asking, you know, they, what if they are actually stopped and talk to us? Maybe they may have had a better day.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
the truth.
but how can you stop and talk when you are
You know,
stressed out?
do you know what I'm using? That people are, it's just your nature. You see that you're a very shy person.
Mm.
You don't like, that's why you don't
But
want people
where
to.
does this nation actually even come from, and how can you
It's part of.
rebrand your nation? Because I think it's not fixed. You know, we've talked about
Yeah,
this
we
thing
tried to
about,
talk about something
yeah,
like
you
that.
know,
Why are people
changing
shy
your
and some are
mind.
not shy?
Yeah.
I think before we started out.
Yeah.
But do you know why I'm using this? There's one particular person I met,
Mm.
just coming from class,
Mm.
tired. I was just like, please, can you subscribe? Okay. What's
And
the
you still
channel
did it,
name?
yeah.
I was like, what's up? Are you open for anything? I said, no, please, maybe some other time. I'm
Mm.
very stressed right now.
Mm.
I need to go and get something to eat.
Yeah.
That's how you react as human beings. That's how you are supposed to just, hey, no, please, just be polite and be loving. Let that kind of person, the joy radiated,
Yeah.
like she
Flow
just
from out
flows.
of
You
you.
see the nice. Everybody are like that. I think they were. Even if you don't want to do it, but the way you
You
respond,
respond, yeah.
just no, please, I can't. No, no. You boss. Yes. So it boils down to your reaction. The reaction is very vital. No matter how stressed you are, you
Mm.
can be stressing your head, and somebody is just. The only time I'm stressed now, you are trying to trigger me. I can
Okay,
react.
even if you are being triggered, you know, can you play around that individual in a way that
Say,
they fall victim to their own trigger?
you can do
Let's say
that.
something
That's
like
where
this,
it comes to
maybe
very.
somebody's pushing your button, you know, trying to make you become a bad person or a violent person or two.
I mean,
And you're just countering, you know, bouncing it off, you know, reflecting the negativity back to them. Like, that would be cool, actually, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not something that's easy for everybody to do.
So that's why it takes time.
Mm.
You need to be. There's a level you will get to mentally, or you'll be able to.
The way you say it takes time, it's as if you've already achieved that
No,
level.
I've not achieved it. I can, but it's something I can do. Most times I will just be like, okay, I want to. I know. See, that's why it comes to understanding yourself. So I know what triggers me. Most times I'm not what triggered. I'm just trying to let you know that your opinion cannot define anything right now. So just leave. You get.
Well, what if reality though? You know, because some things we claim to be, we may not see it because we are so used to ourselves.
My own is
Let me finish. Let me finish. We are so used to ourselves, but like, you know yourself, you spend time with yourself every single day. But just look at it like this: when you see someone for the first time, you know, and you see them again, and you see them again, you tend to start getting used to them. You know, the first time you see them, you're like, wow, this fine person, and then the beauty starts, you know, fading. Not really fading, but maybe your brain starts, the same thing. So it's just the same thing.
Calculating another time.
Yeah. So just like with our emotions and with our behavior, we are so used to our reaction to things that sometimes we may not even be aware that this thing we're doing is bad until somebody new, you know, starts pointing it out that, oh, see, the way you did this thing, the way you did this thing. Like, because what I'm trying to say now is the way you just said, oh, I'm so, you know, like,
self-denial.
Yeah, self-denial.
When you are trying to deny yourself that, oh, this, no, that's where the problem starts from.
Yeah.
Me, there's no. People get me wrong most times. I understand that this person. That sometimes I will do something. I'll be like, this tune was too hard.
Yeah.
I'm not angry, but then it's
people think you may be angry.
Yes, so it's you understand yourself first. Try to walk around these things with people. Then you see that okay, you understand that there is a problem that needs solving. You start solving it based on your emotional world and everything. But if you cannot recognize, that's where the problem is.
And it's just what we talked about initially. Those people that are so abrasive to change, they can't think outside the box.
They are fixated so much or something, and that's where the problem is. Because I know some steps of I'm not going to be. I can be violent because I'm mostly when I'm angry. I'm waiting for the person to react. I'm seeing that okay, I'm prepared mentally for reaction. So if you are reacting with me, I'm not going to first hit you. I've passed that level because it's something I've seen before that this thing I did was very childish. Okay, now work on it. I've told you of it. There was one time this mood swing. That's why I'm always saying emotional overrated is the way you want to feel that you feel. All these mood swing people used to talk about, especially what is mood swing? Just your mood just swing to where you get
swing to where
did it swing? I woke up with this anger. There's just this, I don't know what I'm angry about. I saw somebody that came to look for someone. The person just replied me in I changed it. Elderly person, not elderly, but was quite senior to me. I reacted like, what kind of nonsense is that now? Because I'm talking to you, you get. But then after that, I was like, okay, what is even this thing? Why am I moody? Did I not have control over this thing? And then since that day, I've never slept and woke up and then I'm just feeling very angry. Play music if you're feeling them. I hate when I call people. I'm trying to talk and then they'll just be like, I'm very moody today. I have mood swing. I'm just like, if you just tell me you have mood swing, especially girls, the female gender, they tend to have mood swing. I'll just be like,
it's funny because I think some people might watch this video and they'll be like, these guys are just ridiculous. And that's one thing people also should be cautious of. Don't see things on the internet and get triggered. You don't even know that person that's speaking. You don't know the situation that the level they are speaking from. It's just like take everything at surface level.
I just understand it and just see that okay, you don't see reason, let it slide.
Let it slide. Not because this old cancel culture stuff. Like people cancel people, and they don't even understand the full reason. Like nobody should have any right to judge anybody. Do your thing, I do my thing. Don't be easily triggered by people. That's just the summary of everything.
Because if you are easily triggered, you'll be easily controlled.
Exactly.
That's it. And that's why you see most of these people, these sect people that are easily triggered online in the internet in the woke age, they are mostly being controlled well. One person, that's why all these things start now, all this revolution. One person will just be there, he sees that okay, this is the trigger of this person.
People,
and it gives you
just pushes their button.
And you start reacting, you see people react violently to things, and it's just bad.
Anyways, guys, I think we can wrap this up because this is one thing we also like to do. We try to keep things within the 30 minutes mark, so maybe we can continue this discussion some other time. But for now, this is where we'll call it. We shared some nuggets on how to control your emotion, how to accept change, how to be open-minded and stuff like that. Although maybe you might be watching this and you might think, how does this affect business? But it actually does a lot. The way you treat your customers, the way you react to people, it increases your overall chance of success. So
smile, let's keep a happy face. That's what you're going through.
Exactly.
Keep a happy face, but then I'm always stressing the fact that you talk to somebody, you meet a therapist. Don't be going through stress and then
keep it
smiling and the most happy people tend to be more depressed.
Exactly.
So talk to people
and seek
aid, but don't be aggressive towards people. That's what this talk.
This episode was all about.
Be more receptive, receive information so that you can grow in any space you find yourself, in your business, in your studies, in your marriage, in relationships, everything. This concept is across board. It will help you communicate better, it will help you grow tremendously. It's a very good spike. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Till next time, we are the My Walkman Experience. Cheers.
Okay, have a nice one. Yeah, bye for now. Catch you on the next one.